Well, all four of us have more than enough applications, and from the reports that I've seen, we each are going to meet our targets in terms of filling our class. So, are there too many law schools? Well, the market determines that, and I think the answer is no.
There'll be ups and downs in the legal employment market, and it's very hard for me to say, is there an optimum number either of lawyers or of law schools? I don't know how one would determine that apart from some kind of market analysis. And in terms of the market, we've been very successful. Almost all of our students have found employment very successfully. We've had graduates go on to be vice president of the United States and enter the Congress and be chief justices, and so we've had a very good success rate with our graduates, and I think that will continue for us.
The market will tell whether there are too many or not, and something will be done if there are too many. From our perspective, of course, we would at some level prefer that there were fewer law schools, but it's not in our control, and certainly Mitchell's been here for 109 years, and we're going to continue to be here.
If I ask the question, are there too many law schools like the University of St. Thomas, both in Minnesota and this nation, I'd say actually there's only one of us. So the market ought to be able to sustain one law school that is doing collectively a number of things that no other law school is doing. The focus on mentoring, the focus on professionalism through our Holleran Center for Ethical Leadership, the focus on public service.
There are a couple ways you can look at it. One could say, well, we're producing too many lawyers. But keep in mind, I think it's important to understand that we're not only educating people who are going to enter the private practice of law or practice law in government settings. We are also educating people who are in other professions for whom a legal education is a useful credential. For example, there are many people in the human resources area who come to law school not because they want to be lawyers, but they want to continue to be human resource professionals, and having an education in employment law and being able to converse with lawyers or people who are represented by lawyers is very helpful.
Are there too many lawyers in the community or not? And one way to look at that, of course, is that there are great legal needs that are going unmet. So there's a market dysfunction in a way. It's not that there are too many lawyers, it's that there's not enough, or that the structures aren't set up so that the people who need lawyers can afford to pay for the services. And maybe there'll be some restructuring of the profession in that regard to make it more affordable, and that would be a good thing.
The premise of the question is that if you get a law degree and you pass the bar exam and you're licensed to practice law, then you have a right to remain and to succeed in that profession for the rest of your life. Why do we think that? Why in this market economy do we view coffee shops differently than lawyers? Usually the question is being asked not by a reporter like yourself, but I usually get confronted at bar meetings or alumni gatherings, and somebody says, why are you continuing to admit so many law students to your law school? And it's usually not somebody at the top of her profession. It's usually somebody who's struggling. And not every lawyer in America or not every lawyer in Minnesota should be practicing law. And some of them are getting forced out, and they probably should be, for the same reason that the coffee shop down the street may not be, maybe there are too many coffee shops in that 4-block area, and we don't lose a lot of sleep over the concept that businesses come and go because the market economy plays it out as it should be.